Also want to invite you to participate in the David Pakman Show subreddit discussions. You can find that at davidpakman.com/Reddit. More than 30,000 of our viewers and listeners have already subscribed. A couple of posts I want to briefly discuss that I spotted on the subreddit this morning. One user said, "Backlash to new mask recommendations show why the left are bad at politics," arguing the CDC changed mask guidelines to say you can wear them indoors. And there has been surprisingly a lot of backlash to this from our own side. Let me be straight. This is a huge political win for Joe Biden. His agenda is back to normal. And the quicker we get back to normal, the better he looks. And in terms, Dems and the left as a whole, if he were a Republican president, every single Republican would be shouting through the rooftops of the success of this and how we are basically out of the pandemic. Instead, our own side seems to be actively hampering our political agenda by questioning the science of the decision. And some cities and states are keeping mask mandates in effect, regardless of the science. So I think that this is a really, really good point. And I'm going to do a commentary later where I'm going to talk about the mask forever stuff. I won't preempt that because I'm going to get into it. I think this is a really astute commentary, which is some of the reaction when the CDC said vaccinated people don't really have to wear masks anywhere because the vaccines are so effective and the spread is cut so dramatically and the risk is just so low. A better reaction would be, it's incredible how quickly Joe Biden got us to this point. The left could have united and made this unilaterally a win for Joe Biden. Look, Biden did COVID stimulus and he asked people to wear masks for 100 days and all this different stuff and vaccination. And now look at what the CDC is able to say. Unfortunately, I think that some on the left misplayed it by saying this is crazy, even though we've been following the CDC all along. We're going to keep mask mandates. We're going to do all this different stuff. That frames it as not the win that it really should be considered. And this is a separate question from whether individuals could, should, or might choose to keep wearing masks personally, which I think is perfectly fine and I'm going to address later. I think that's a very astute commentary about a missed opportunity by the left. Excellent post. Also, a number of posts, including this one, about Joe Rogan's comments that, quote, straight white men are being silenced by, quote, woke culture. I did a big rant about this yesterday during a live stream where I talked about the predecessors to so-called woke culture, which is not a term I use, but it's sort of a follow-on of Michel Foucault's postmodernist analysis of literature, which has turned into critical theory and a bunch of other things which lead us to every narrative has to be equally valued, when I really don't think that that's a good idea. And there are some extremes, which maybe Joe Rogan is alluding to, but big picture, Joe Rogan's comments about woke culture and people aren't going to be able to go outside anymore because in the past some have been imprisoned and straight white men won't be able to speak. It goes cartoonishly too far. I ranted about it for almost 15 minutes yesterday on a live stream. We might pull that and make it a standalone clip. But I do think that Joe Rogan goes too far here in his comments. And I think most of my audience tends to agree with that. But join the discussion yourself on the subreddit by going to davidpakman.com/REDDIT. It's free. I'm selling you nothing other than a free good time. Okay, check it out. One of our sponsors is Vincero Watches, giving you 15% off. A high quality wristwatch is the perfect way to elevate your style. Own at least one watch that makes you feel great when you put it on. You can often see me wearing my Vincero watch on the show. Mine is the gunmetal vessel model. I'm a big fan of the metallic look of the face of the watch. I like the silicone strap. You won't find a better made watch for this good a price anywhere else. When you put it on, you know you got more than you paid for. Vincero believes in crafting super quality watches from high-end materials, but selling them at fair prices, which is why they have over 26,000 five-star reviews. And they stand behind every watch they make with a 1-year return policy and 5-year warranty. They'll give you 15% off everything in their store and free shipping at davidpakman.com/watch. Use the coupon code PAKMAN.